is mxux. I'm going to go over the final quarter Lordstown 21 earnings call in detail, fine-tooth comb. This is mxux. I've just gone over about the 10th listen of the call, the audio call for the earnings Q4. Let's just go through. I think this is pretty cut and dried. Let me just go through this. All right. 250 million is needed this year to reach production targets. That's right now. That is not a lot of money in car terms. They usually need 500. A house in Venice, California right now is $1.8 million. It's 250 houses. It's not a lot of money. The main source is the joint venture, the MIH platform joint venture. Okay? That's what they're looking at right now. That is the plan. And we're going to go over this a little bit later, but basically, Lordstown Motors is going to generate fees from Foxconn to design one or two MIH platform vehicles, to do the engineering and the design to work on that platform, and we'll go over that later. Now, people have been talking about the unit production goal. This is a cash, they're saying it's too low. Well, this is a cash constraint problem. It's a bill of materials cost and so forth. I don't believe it's a production capacity. You got to remember back in the day, before everything happened, Schmidt claimed he could get the plant running to 4 units of production a minute to start, and then 7 units of production a minute afterwards. That's with unlimited funding, no cash flow problems. The production is cash constrained, in my opinion. It's not the plant or the design of the Endurance. Production capacity, in my opinion, that's the deal there. Initially, the hard tooling capex, which is what they're talking about, this 250 million is needed for, was undefined. Now, what was left on the table on the last version of Lordstown Motors was there were soft dies made for a high top van. They had to be refinished into the hard metal stamping final dies. And they're just recopied into a harder metal. And this was the capex that they put off, the hard tooling. As we'll see later, there's a little bit of a change to that. I don't know if they were sandbagging, but the van dies were the main problem. And the dies are owned by, they asked them if it was, LMC owns the dies. And right now the van is what's remaining. They also had planned a three-row SUV. There's some Endurance news in the call. Implied self-driving devices and future capability is on there. They confirmed over-the-air updates. So this is going to be a, totally up-to-date EV, ground-up, engineered, purpose-built, not an F-150 with a battery hung under it. Okay? They were talking about Endurance first customers. And they said it's going to be focused, because of this limited production, it's going to be limited where they have service. And I have already read that the first deliveries will be in Southern California. Southern California is the worldwide proving grounds for EV markets, EV regulations, EV everything. There's more EVs in everybody follows Southern California's lead. And Lordstown has a big presence in Orange County. Again, it's going to be a strategic release, 500 trucks. Again, this is going to be in Southern California. Now, they have raised the price. Well, it was initially 50, and then it was 55. It is now 63,500 as of this call. And they mentioned, I believe it was Hightower mentioned, there's a high, the base options with the truck, it's very well optioned out. Okay. There's not, it comes optioned out. There's not a lot of options. It's a well fitted out truck. They say that justifies the pricing. Also, the availability of EV truck availability. Ford's bouncing all these numbers around. Anyway, so the pricing is going to be new. The bill of materials break even plan. So this is when they're going to be profitable. Because the first units they put off aren't going to be profitable. It's going to, this all has to spin up. They said 18 months from start of production. So Q2 in 2023, they should be break even on the bill of materials. I think this is about standard. You can watch my last video on the starting production of all the other major players. I'm going to try to put a link of it in the description. This is totally normal. I think part of this is SEC. They don't want to do anything outrageous. And they fudged this and said, possibly 2024. But, of course, there's a lot of variables right now in the market. So, everything is, I don't know. It's pretty much what we all expected. Now they went to some specific points on hard tooling. Now this is the 200 to 250 million they need right now to get the production totally underway. And they were saying the tooling varies, and they said, for example, and I think, again, I have down here supply chain rated. They need a tool to install the trailer hitch. Well, the tool for the trailer hitch is going to depend on who the trailer hitch supplier is. This is one tooling. They mentioned the same thing about the door hinges. So, this is variable over time. And I believe this was implied to be supply chain related. So, I had mentioned up here the Van Dyes. They didn't say anything about the Van Dyes. I think the Van Dyes maybe are on the back burner. They were put on the back burner by the interim CEO before Niavaji came on. Didn't say anything about the van. Of course, that is their next product. But let's just stick to what they did say. This is mundane production stuff. This is not any jarring information here. Now, they talked about the Fox agreement, and I had mentioned in my last video on this most critical thing. The joint venture manufacturing agreement is a term of the plant sale. So they have to make these agreements have to happen for this deal to go through. And I had mentioned this in my last video as well. They asked Niavaji, did he have a plan B? Not at this point. Still ongoing negotiation. But he dodged this. I don't know. Does he have a plan B? I felt it was dodged. I suspect there is some sort of plan B. He said that we were all in with Foxconn. and confident we can make it work. Now, Niavaji is behind this strategy, and he is all in, and I think it's a great strategy. And you'll hear in his remarks at the end of the presentation here, it is a great idea. This whole thing is a way to take on every major OEM in the world, really. Uh, now, what I don't believe the contract manufacturing is the issue, according to my read of the call. It's the MIH new vehicle design development joint venture is on the table. Okay. This is the rub. Okay. This is basically, they have the MIH platform. Niavaji and Lordstown are going to design engineer, the body to go on top of this skateboard, and they're going to, design it for X market, So this is, Lordstown Motors is becoming like Pina Ferreira, whatever it is, or one of the other major design houses, doing the engineering, doing the design of the vehicle, with the drivetrain battery system skateboard being MIH, Motion in Harmony, which is Foxconn's open source joint venture. Now, this JV is on the table, meaning they are negotiating. So this is the rub. This is the rub. And they specifically said Foxconn promised good faith negotiations. So, looking for a mutual agreement, trying to reach the truth there. Niavaji said they're going to hold their feet to the fire on this good faith promise, and they are confident they will reach an agreement. If not, again, here's this plan B, have to do something else. So this joint venture is our issue here. This is what we're looking at. This is the whole thing right here. This is everything in a nutshell. This is because the way this is going to work is, Lordstown is going to pay Foxconn to assemble the vehicle. Foxconn is going to pay Lordstown to design what was indicated here, 2 new vehicles for the MIH platform. They're going to get fees from designing the, this is going to how they're going to raise money. The fees from these design fees are going to be turned around and used for the CapEx OpEx of Lordstown, which in large part is going to be Foxconn fees. So, snake eating its own tail. But this joint venture, for whatever reason, there's no clarification on that, is on the table. Okay? So, they're coming down to the wire. I believe they have till the end of April to make this. Now, they were talking about the capital raise. Capital raise of $250 million is needed. Not really a lot. What was said was, what we really need is the joint venture development program. This $250 million is just to get them to production. They need this joint venture for ongoing operations, scale, and mass production. So the joint venture vehicle development program with the MIH program is the key to everything. And it's an incremental investment. Okay, this is what it's all about. Incremental investment from Foxconn via joint venture fees. So, in my estimation, this is the fulcrum. This is the rub. This is it. This joint vehicle development program. They're agreeing to this joint development program, and this is how it was stated, is tangible proof Fox is supporting the joint venture and all in on the Lordstown venture. So, deal breaker if they don't do it. Tangible proof, all in. So, this is what they're talking about. And at least this is the point that Lordstown has made in their quarterly. So they're obviously sending a signal out as well. They are looking for tangible proof. Fox is all in. Okay? If not, they're going to do something else, they said. They need to get this deal done. And this MIH, and Foxconn is lucky to have them. I know Foxconn is confident they can do stuff, but Lordstown has been through the ringer. They have the staff in place. They have the talent in place. They know how to do this. It would behoove Foxconn to go with them. For them to start this from scratch to get where Lordstown is. As I said, 1 quarter is like a year in Lordstown time. It would take them minimum 5 years to get the talent together. More than that, to get the whole manufacturing infrastructure together and stuff. Them going with Lordstown is such an advantage. I don't know if there's hubris on their part, but anyway, this is the key. This is the main issue. Everything else is no big deal. Okay, so they need Foxconn's commitment on this joint venture development deal. The Endurance launch is no big deal. They got pros on in-house. The truck's done. It's fine. They just need the 250 mil just for like a proof of concept to get sales out the door. The MIH joint venture design, 2 models in 24 months. Lordstown is confident they can do that. And I am confident they can do that because they've already been through the mill on this and they know what they're doing. And they might as well have an OEM. It's even better than an OEM. This is equivalent to, Tesla. I'm not going to say Rivian or Lucid because I don't think those guys are doing very good. I think Lordstown is a much better organization. So the 250 mil is just to prove we can get certified and in production. Okay, so this is just for a proof of concept. This is what they have to raise right now. And again, this is to get, 1 truck delivered or 500 trucks delivered, and it shows LMC is worthy of further investments. So the source of this 250 is this deal, and there may be other sources as well, but this is what Lordstown is looking for. Tangible proof Fox is supporting the joint venture and all in. So this is what they're negotiating, and that they're making these statements public. They're obviously pressuring Foxconn. What the problem is with Foxconn? Is it how much they're going to pay Lordstown? We don't know. Is it do they not have confidence in Lordstown's design and engineering? That would be foolish. Do they not? Is the term of the agreement not to their liking? I mean, is this a 5-year agreement? Is this a 10-year agreement? Is this a 20-year agreement? Are they negotiating how long this joint venture is going to be in effect? We don't know. Are they negotiating, what Lordstown Motors, if they're going to get a payment per vehicle produced? Is that, I don't know, but whatever the issue is, it's this joint venture. Okay, I don't think it's technical. I think it is financial or terms, and I think it's the fees they're going to be paid, or the royalty they'll receive per unit on the MIH products that are sold, perhaps, or the length of the joint venture. They don't want to commit because, who knows what could happen in 10 years in the electric vehicle market. But this is the rub. This is the whole thing. Okay? Down. Again, once I have a stock estimate video out, once they produce one vehicle, sell one vehicle, everything's going to change. So this 250 is just needed to get one out the door. This Foxconn MIH joint venture is what's going to fund everything else. So, anyway, they mentioned regulatory approval. 3 months is fast track. They've got some real pros in there. They said that they can meet their aggressive regulatory approval. Much of it's done already, and they said their computer modeling and everything is helping. Did not see it as an issue. I know that was mentioned in other videos, but when you do, I don't know that much about it, but when you do homologation, I mean, there's like a major crash-proof testing and everything. Then when you go to homologation, different states have different things, and different countries have different things, and you have to meet, there's more approvals to go on. But they said their EPA approval is going to be coming out soon. Not an issue. I don't think there's any issues with the truck. So that was the call, basically. Now I have down here, I'm going to play a video, an audio clip from Navaji, I think, that says everything about this. But just as a recap, they need 250 million to get into production. Foxconn promised good faith negotiations. Hold their feet to the fire. This joint venture agreement for the MIH platform is considered to be tangible proof Fox is supporting the joint venture and all in on the venture. So in other words, if they don't get this tangible proof, the deal's going to fall apart. They are negotiating. And they need this to turn the corner, as you can see here. This is what's going to turn the corner for Lordstown. So, this is the main issue. Everything else is no big deal. What they're negotiating, they said there's ongoing, the relationship is good, all this diplomatic talk. What is the issue? I say money, okay? I think technically it's all there. Execution is all there. They have talent. It's about money. It's about, who's going to make what money from what. Because these MIH vehicles are going to probably be a big deal as well. But that's what we're looking at. All in all, I think the call was pretty much as expected. There is the only issue facing Ride or Lordstown Motors right now, my opinion, is cash. I mean, once they get this 250 million, that's going to be the proof of concept, and they're going to get sales. Okay. Following that, to turn the corner into mass production, they have to have this joint venture, MIH, to generate fees to fund ongoing. So that's where they are. Navaji says, you know what? We're confident we can do it. They have till the end of April. And he says, if it doesn't work out, we're going to do something else. So he's kind of, the call to me was kind of like, Well, I put all the cards on the table and threw the gauntlet down to Foxconn to give me tangible proof you're supporting everything we're doing here and that you're all in on the venture. Because that's what isn't being put forward. They are, for some reason, not not at this point yet. But that's what Niavaji's saying. Only one tangible proof. You're all in on this venture, and that means this MIH agreement, and that's where it's at. So I'm gonna play. I think I'm gonna put a couple more sections in here and play a note from uh, play some audio from Nivaji. All right, thanks, guys. I hope you liked it, and that's where we are. As again, ride high risk venture, high risk investment. A lot of potential on the upside. It would appear to me after this call, um, I think it's even more apparent that there's a lot of potential upside here. Um, and of course, Danny Avaji just bought shares, CEO insider buying. So, anyway, also potential downside here. But my take is well, we're going to know at the end of April what's going to happen. And I made a video today about a Chinese battery manufacturer. There's whisper talk about an interest in Lordstown. Whether that's relevant, I don't know. All right, this is mxux. Thanks a lot. Let's move on to these other sections. Okay, this is mxux. I just wanted to add to this conference call video. This is the PPV version of the Endurance, and there was some hay made of there being a lower capacity. Okay, so we got a 109 kilowatt hour battery. We should be getting about 218 miles from this because of the um, efficiency of the Endurance. They're going to get 250, and I bet the EPA is going to put it up to 260, maybe even more. But anyway, the front frunk has been made smaller for whatever reason. I don't know if this is a shorter area here. I don't think they've made any body changes, but there may be more hardware underneath the frunk. The cargo is 1,200 pounds. Now, I want to go back. This is a slide from a previous video I had made on the Endurance. Tightest turning radius. Okay, payload 2,000 pounds max. Towing 7,500 pounds. Okay, 20-foot frunk. Okay. 109 to 117 watt battery pack. So what we've got is the lower of those two battery packs. We have traded, before the payload was 1,200, previously it was 2,000. But the towing has gone up from 7,500 to 8,000. So there's been a trade-off between payload and towing. I am suspecting that's from the trailer hitch weight, among other things. But in any case, it's almost the same. Now we have a 9.6 foot frunk. They had a 20 foot cubic frunk before. The reason for that, we don't know. We don't know. But anyway, I think the truck is actually, I love these wheels. I think the truck is actually better now than it was. And there have been some slight variations. You know, as you move into production on these things, this is what happens. Changes are made. Everything is put to a finer point. So I don't see any problems with the changes in the truck at all, in my opinion. It's just what I'm saying. I think it's still a great truck. And I think municipalities and fleets, especially with the up and down oil prices, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, let's look. Rivian, nothing. Cybertruck, not going to work. Ford F-150 Lightning, that's a Ford F-150 with a giant battery hung on it. It's not an EV. Silverado, 2025. The new real Ford electric pickup, 2025. So the endurance, even being held back, you know, 2 years, let's say, uh, it's still, I believe, the leading EV pickup for fleets for people that want a real truck. And of course, it's the only one that has a solid rear axle, and I think that's important, having been a truck owner. And it is the only one that does have a solid rear axle, and it is the only one that will. No other EV pickup truck is going to have that feature because of the hub motors. All right.
Just lastly, I mean, it's hard to bet against each of you individually in any way in your functions, given your history and what you've done in the industry. So we have a lot of respect for you. But the in each of these EV startups, there's traditionally a founder and sort of an alpha person that's kind of just truly pushing things through and has had a vision for the company. And traditionally, that's been the founder, and that's certainly not the case at the moment because the founder is gone. Dan, I mean, there's sort of this intangible of kind of getting all this stuff done and pulling together, and we all know it's a tremendous feat to execute what you've done so far, but to really get this over the sort of the finish line, and viable, it kind of takes sort of a one person to really just spearhead this whole thing. I mean, who is that? Is it you, Dan, or is it Ed? I mean, how should we really think about this? Because when we look at all these other companies, we have this single founder that is, responsible for absolutely everything in a kind of a wild, insane, complicated way, and it's not necessarily apparent here. I mean, who is that person, and how confident are you, that person is really going to be able to get this done?
So, John, I've known you for 20 years. I'm insulted that you don't think I'm an alpha man.
I think you're an alpha male in everything you do, but like this is an umbrella that is wide. You know that. I know we know, but like it's a lot. I mean, and the founder sort of in that sort of wild vision has changed here, right? I mean, it's become sort of more practical and deal focused, which might be the direction it needs to go in. So you might answer it that way. But I mean, in these other situations, we have a single person that is truly tasked with everything, and you got a lot of very good players. But I'm just curious, Dan, how you think about that.
So look, I've been around the industry for a while. I worked for Carl Icahn for 10 years. I've been through challenges, and this is one of the most challenging situations I've seen. But I knew it coming in, right? I knew what I was getting into when I joined the company. And it's played out pretty much exactly as I thought it would. I'm maniacal about getting this done, okay? I believe in the benefits of the Foxconn transaction. I'm not saying, okay, they're going to solve all our problems. We've got to solve our own problems. We've got to execute better. As Ed mentioned, I mean, operationally, we're as good as we've ever been. I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. That's why Ed's here. I mean, Ed is a 30-year veteran who's launched big programs, who's done things more complicated than this. Adam is a top-notch CFO. We're bringing in engineering talent. It's going to be about talent and our own ability to execute. The strategy part is kind of my thing. I think the smaller OEMs, most of them will not survive because scale, as I said earlier, does matter a lot in this industry, and you're going up against big players. So you've got to pick your spots. You've got to, figure out a way to be competitive without being a vertically integrated OEM, $150 billion OEM. And so we're trying to be smart about that. And I think, I said early on, we're all in on Foxconn, but we need to actually prove out the benefits of that relationship. And it's got to be a win-win situation. And, it's not a done deal. It's not a sure thing by any means. But, our relationship is strong. I think we're going to get there. And, if you want to know who the alpha male is in this company, you're talking to him. It's me.
Okay. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thank you. At this time, we've reached the end of the question and answer session. I'll now turn the call over to Dan Ninivaggi, Chief Executive Officer, for closing remarks.
Thanks, operator, and thanks to all those who participated in the call. I'd like to close by thanking our shareholders for their support. It has not been an easy year. I'd also like to again thank the LMC team for all the hard work that has us where we are today. I'm very proud of the fact that our core team, manufacturing, engineering, and corporate, has never let the challenges and distractions overwhelm us. In fact, our program management and business processes have never been better and continue to improve every day. I'm also grateful that we've been able to attract some great new talent to the organization, and recruiting the best automotive talent, especially in engineering, is our top priority. Thank you, and we look forward to speaking with you next quarter, if not sooner. Thank you, operator.
You're welcome. This will conclude today's conference.